Page 272. An Interesting Life. An awful noise comes like a tree trunk splitting in two. While we watch in disbelief, a piece of the roof, the size of a Great Dane, simply vanishes. Rain gushes through the hole in torrents. Boss, I say, it's time. Jump on my back. And that's a good idea because, why exactly? Because maybe you'll get your turn, I say, your chance to have things go your way. I've had an interesting life. I want you to have one too. Bob, at best, you're buying me a couple extra minutes. Boss says, sis, I'm like this. I'm like 30 seconds older than you, and you're not the boss of me. Please? Why? Just because you're a guy, I could take you down in a second with 3 paws tied behind my back. And if you get out of here and I don't, I continue ignoring her. There's a place I want you to go. Sit on the front porch, wait for the humans who live there. Who are you kidding, Bob? We are both about to die. 3 blocks up, 4 houses down on the left. Look for a big oak tree. Guy named Nutwit lives there. Nutwit, she's suppressing a smile. Say it, I commanded. Fine, whatever. 3 blocks up, 4 houses down. Nutwit. We go back and forth like that, arguing, bantering, trying not to hear the terrors our age mates. And I think maybe I'm starting to hallucinate a little. I'm starving and freezing, and I feel kind of dizzy, and all the smells and sounds are mingling together. And the crazy as it seems, I actually think I catch a whiff of Ivan. Well, that's kind of cool, I think. At least I'll be remembering my best buddy when I die. There are worse ways to go. Hey, the water laps up in my mouth, foul tasting and frigid. Now I say to my sister, get on my back now. I'm saving you, whether you like it or not. Something in my choked voice scares her. I guess because she leaps right onto my back with a horrified yelp. I blink back muddy water. A silver presence looms before me. Still, I'm not entirely certain or sure that it's him until I get a big ol' whiff of banana. Hey, Bob, says Ivan, giant monkey and sea monster. The screeches of terror are ear splitting, and my poor ears have endured plenty at this point. Folks, I cry, relax. He's here to save us. Monkeys, screams the orange cat. Giant monkey. I beg your pardon, says Ivan. The bunny cowers in the corner of her cage. If King Kong is here to eat us, I'd rather drown. See, serpent, screams the beagle. An arched gray trunk glides past. Ruby, I exclaim. She's just tall enough to keep her head above water. Ivan, Ruby, Snickers calls in delighted voice. Over here, dears. Long time no see. Hey, Snickers, Ruby says. Snickers wags her drenched tail puff. My, how've you grown, sweetie? Excuse me, says Gray Muzzle, but maybe the happy reunion could wait until we, are not underwater. Ivan taps his chin. He's always slow, always deliberate. That's what I like about how he thinks. Except when I'm about to drown. We need to get all of you to higher ground, he says at last. But the current's tough to fight, even for Ruby and me. There's always the roof, I say, but it's damaged. Ivan nods. Seems there's a tree on it. Look, Uncle Bob, Ruby says, paddling back and forth. Um, I'm an El Mermaid. Kid always makes me smile. Good work, Ruby. I've got an idea, says Ivan. I'll take multiple trips, so I'm going to start with the smallest creatures and work from there. My sister gazes down at me from the perch on my back and you actually know this ape? He's my best pal. Ivan and I go way back. A long pause follows. Bob, finally says, you aren't kidding. You really have an interesting life. To say one thing about being a silverback, the strength of 8 men can come in handy. Ivan starts with the bunny and the dishhound, one on each arm. along with two cats perched on his shoulders and head. One more trip, this time with the beagle and Snickers, then Boss and me on our way. Ruby holds tight to Gray Muzzle's collar and she manages to paddle along using Ruby as a ballast. It takes us a while to cross the street. The current swift and waters up to Ruby's neck in places. I asked as we approached the other side, did they find George and Julia? They're okay, a little banged up, but that's fine. They made it safely to a keeper's shed. Tree fell and blocked the door. I choked back a sob of relief.